I started out as an on-site Finop in 2007 for an institutional research firm in Boston, and gained a lot of experience there assessing the daily changes in net capital and the various financial conditions of the firm. From there, in 2011, I became an examiner with the Boston District of FINRA, and I specialized in financial examinations, reviewing the financials of several different firms throughout the Northeast and of several different branches throughout the country. And from that, I've developed a wide database of net capital knowledge and interpretations that I now bring to the table with Intersource, where I have several Finop clients.
Over the past several years, Intersource has conducted numerous exams. And one thing that's really popped up with several of our clients is an expense sharing agreement that may not necessarily be where FINRA is looking for that. Ernie has been an integral part in reworking their expense sharing agreement so it is in compliance with FINRA. And why don't you tell us about that, Ernie?
Sure, Don. I've been working with expense sharing agreements for 11 years. First drafting them as a controller of a broker-dealer in Finop, and then reviewing them as an examiner with FINRA. And I have a vast knowledge of the components of the expense sharing agreement and the requirements. So part of the financial services that Intersource can provide to your broker-dealer is expense sharing consulting, where we can draft an expense sharing agreement for you, which is often needed because sometimes expense sharing agreements become outdated and we're at the point where it should probably be drafted again, and continually monitoring those expense sharing agreements to make sure that the contents of them continue to be appropriate. As the lead Finop of Intersource, I serve as the chief financial officer for the broker-dealers for which I provide those services. And unlike a lot of on-site FinOps and remote FinOps, I analyze the financials of your firm transaction by transaction. In other words, I know on a daily basis what the net capital condition of your firm is. A lot of FinOps, unfortunately, try to estimate, and they try to do their net capital calculations more on month-end bases, etc. I know at all times what the net capital condition of my firms are, and I can provide the financial information necessary to the executives that can address them.
Because Intersource has the FinOp and compliance on staff, Ernie and I are in constant communication if there is an issue that arises where we can proactively take care of anything that happens.
Sometimes compliance issues affect net capital. And in this situation, my partner is the chief compliance officer in most cases. So we can work hand in hand to understand how those compliance and net capital issues affect one another. While Intersource does provide separate CCO and FinOps services, we've found that it's more beneficial for you to hire the combined team of Dawn as CCO and myself as FinOp. That way we're able to interact regularly on a regulatory level, providing the best quality services to you.
Our clients have a seamless interaction. You're gonna have your FinOp and your Chief Compliance Officer who interact seamlessly or interact on a daily basis to help navigate a FINRA exam more seamlessly than a separate CCO and a separate FinOp.
With Intersource, your two chief principals are on the same page, whereas as opposed to having to connect with some other principal or principals in order to meet the demands called upon by FINRA. With a combined team of principals through Intersource, you're in a better position, especially during the examination phase, as opposed to having one principal having to connect with another principal to achieve FINRA's demands. For example, another principal might not go on site for all their exams. There might be some exams for smaller firms they might not go on site for. So now you might have to schedule conference calls with that person. You might have to schedule separate meetings with that person in order to get up to date with all the information that's going to be discussed with the regulators. Dawn and I are continually talking about all that information. So we show up to the exam and we already know all of that. And now we're able to grasp information as it develops, as the examination develops.
Ernie and I have been on site for every client FINRA examination.